Hey, I'm Marina. I quit my job in the pandemic to travel the world. So this podcast is a mixture of my inner thoughts as a solo female traveler and interviews I have with inspiring people I meet on the road. A really big welcome to my first ever podcast episode. I'm so happy you are here on the ontheroadcast. I'm super excited, I'm nervous, but I'm so happy it's finally happening. But before we really deep dive into anything, I thought it would be a great idea to introduce myself, like who am I and why do I think I need a podcast now that everybody else has one as well. So first of all, a little bit of a backstory. I studied economics and finished my bachelor in 2018. That was also the year I started my YouTube channel, mainly to collect memories and to use it to get out of my comfort zone because I struggled a lot talking in front of a camera. That was also the year I did my interrail trip for 3.5 weeks through Europe and then did a 4 weeks Thailand backpacking trip. That trip actually did change my life completely. And kind of was the start for where I am right now. Maybe also to mention, I'm right now sitting in a hostel in Bologna with a blanket over my head because I want to have like the best sound I can right now afford. So I really hope it's okay. And actually during the trip to Thailand, I decided on this really nice flight from the north to the south. I decided that I want to do this not just for 4 weeks or like 8 weeks in total. I was traveling that year. I want to do that long term. So that's when I decided I want to save up for my trip around the world. So I came back from Thailand, started working in my new job in sales and as an assistant of the management. And I basically saved up money so I can go traveling after 2 years. So with a little bit of delay, because of a situation we are all so aware of, I finally started my trip around the world on June 13th in Italy, in the city of Bari. So all good, and you may ask yourself like, okay, right, she's going like a trip around the world, but why does she need a podcast? So first of all, I was always fascinated by podcasts and still am. Like I love to consume podcasts, I love to listen to people for hours. And I thought maybe there is someone out there who liked to listen to my voice for a longer time. And I wanted to do one for so long. I wanted to do it with other people, but it somehow never worked out. We also had the idea to do a podcast on our recent road trip through Slovenia, but it also didn't work out. So at one point I was just like, why am I not just doing it all by myself? So basically the idea was born like around 2 weeks ago, and then I just did it basically. So I already recorded the next episode basically, which is an interview with the 2 amazing creators I went on the road trip with. So stay tuned for that already. And besides just doing it, the topic for my podcast is just fitting to me. Like I can share my thoughts, which I think may be helpful for one or another, and also I want to interview people on the road that I find inspiring because I met so many unbelievably inspiring people so far on the road, because actually on the road you meet people you probably would never meet in real life, and every story is so unique and inspiring. So I just want to collect those inspirations for you and for me, because I can re-listen to them over and over again. So now that I mentioned like why I'm gonna do this is basically for me also a project of trial and error. I don't have a clue if this podcast is what I love, but so far it's kind of cool. And it's for me a little project, an experiment you could say. So it's not going to be as consistent as I do my YouTube. It's really going to be like a passion project where I really want to talk when I feel like I want to talk, when I meet inspiring people. So I'm not sure if this is gonna be a consistent thing with like 1 week podcasts or maybe one time a month. But I really hope you're gonna stay around because I'm super excited for this project. So I think for an introduction, this might be enough for now. I really hope you stay around. If you do, please make sure to follow me. So I'm gonna end this now. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me on my Instagram, which I will link in the show notes, or email me on info@creatorbymarina.com. And yeah, I think we are done for now. I really hope you enjoyed this first little track. As I mentioned, stay tuned for the next one because it's going to be an epic interview. And I'm so excited for everything that is to come. Besides the next episode with the interview, I don't know where and I don't know when the next podcast episode will be recorded, but it's definitely going to be somewhere on the road. Stay tuned for that. Thanks for taking time to listen to the On the Roadcast. If you like this episode, you would warm my heart with a nice review on iTunes, a comment on YouTube, or a private message on Instagram. And of course, you make me super happy if you share my podcast, as it helps other listeners finding my show and hopefully to inspire them to travel the world.